could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, and times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn the part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Welcome to part 2 of the episode covering round 6 of the Inland Championship from the Redstar Raceway. In this episode, we catch up with the Comsol VW Challenge, who joined us as an invitational category on the day. We find out more about their actual category of racing, and we catch up on all of the racing action. In studio with me is Graham Savage from the Comsol VW Challenge. Graham, can you tell us more about the history of the VW Challenge?
VW Challenge started 27 years ago. It was initially organised as a demonstration race at Zwartkops for the GTR club, and from there it's just developed into what it is today. I mean, obviously the cars have changed over the years, and rules and that, people have come and gone, but essentially it's a growing series and very popular.
Can you tell us a bit more about how the different classes work?
Sure. Our Class A cars, which are the quickest of the bunch, they run a 2-litre 16-valve FSR motor, which is on throttle bodies now. They make a decent amount of horsepower. They minimum weight 1,075 kilos. They run on a Dunlop Dereza semi-slick. Really quick 6-speed gearboxes, fancy suspension. They're obviously the quickest of the bunch. Our Class B cars are an 8-valve motor. It's a 2-litre 8-valve with a 288 cam. They run normal rod shift 5-speed gearboxes. They have a minimum weight of 1,050 kilos, again on the same Dunlop semi-slick tyre. Then our Class C class is the entry-level class, the budget class. We run on a road tyre, a normal Dunlop SP7000D, and again a 2-litre 8-valve motor with a camshaft, a lot more limited modifications on them. Again, a 5-speed rod shift box and a minimum weight of 1,050 kilos.
You have a number of sponsors on board as well. Can you give us more detail about the sponsors that are involved?
VW Challenge is very fortunate to have such big sponsors on board that look after us. Our main sponsor obviously being Comsol wireless technologies. They do the bulk of the sponsorship for us. The other big one being ATE Brakes. They've actually developed a specific race pad for VW Challenge that all the Class C cars run. Autobahn, our big sponsor, BSG, new to the series, Dictator Management Systems, Norbrake, Oasis Lubricants with their Ultron oils, and Sabat batteries, obviously got a long-term history in motorsport that also look after us.
After the break, Race 1 highlights coming up from the Redstar Raceway. First race of the day for the Comsol VW Challenge Class A's, and a good start there from the field. Not so good for Tasman Pepper though. She pulls off on the sideline there with a broken drive shaft, but the rest of the pack well on their way. Devon Piazza Musso barging his way up the inside of Ian Stevenson there, and setting out behind the race leader Voldymanki. Stevenson coming back at him straight away, and not going to give him much room either, as the two of them side by side through the next corner. And some really close racing here early on. Stevenson trying to find a line back past Piazza Musso. Piazza Musso down the centre line there, just defending himself from that overtake. And the rest of the field now filtering through. You can see the B's and C's behind them, but this race is all about Class A at the moment. Voldymanki is the man out in front. Piazza Musso sliding the back end out there with Ian Stevenson and the rest of the pack in tow.
First time out for the VW Challenge at Redstar Raceway, so it was a new track for all of them. Guys still finding their feet. And Stian Kriel there in the background, joining us from Cape Town. He's new to the series as well, doing very, very well.
Rory Atkinson, the man in the white Comsol car, busy chasing his teammate there in the blue car, and looks like he's managed to get past him, because now he's challenging Devin Piazzamuso for P2, and a nice clean move down the inside there of Piazzamuso. Piazzamuso no doubt going to try to come back at him, but Rory Atkinson certainly no slouch in the seat either, and not going to make it easy.
And Stian Kriel putting the pressure on Ian there.
Certainly is, and just look at Rory now, the car fishtailing a little bit there under braking. You can see tyres locking up and some smoke, just showing you how hard the guys are pushing.
These cars are really, really quick. Being 16-valve motors, they've got a lot of horsepower, a lot of brakes. And the guys really do push them hard. You can see Stian Kriel going down the inside of Stevenson.
Nice little move there by Kriel. I thought there might have been more contact there, but luckily not. And Ian just had to submit and let Kriel past. Stian showing some very late braking there, but doing a great job of that. And just look at the lead Voldimankis has got already. There's our second place man, Rory Atkinson, who's also got away from that battle for third, as Kriel and Ian Stevenson still fight it out. But Voldimankis out in front, making things look quite easy from the look of it. He clearly has the track sorted out, and has got the best line, and is just going about the business of leading this race.
Brilliantly turned out car as well from Lee Thompson Racing there while there's pedaling. And also Andre Halp's car there, he preps the cars for the Comsol boys, Rory Atkinson. Also very, very nice drive, got himself back up to second place there.
And checkered flag comes out. Voldy's taken the flag already for the win, and Rory Atkinson picking up second spot, with Stian Kriel picking up third.
Yes, it was a good heat. We struggled a bit for pace, but came off a bad start. Well done to Ian and Devin. They had a phenomenal start, made for good racing, but I was just very happy to prevail and come through for a good second.
And the start for race one of Class B gets underway, and charge down into the first corner they go. Nick Clark ahead of Darren Nathan. Looks like Adrian Wood on the outside there, and Harris right behind them as well. And Nick Clark has got a good start. Oh, Nathan, bit of a nasty move there on Adrian Wood. We'll have to see what he has to say about that later on. And looks like the guys are really going to be fighting hard in this Class B race. On board now with Brad Hall, as he's further back in the pack, and gets a face full of dust and stones as one of the other cars runs a little bit wide there. But Brad battling with the pace here from the look of it, just a little bit further behind the pack, and you see that
it's Andre Callets on his right-hand side there.
Having a look up the inside.
So Michael Harris had qualified on pole for the race, and fluffed the start slightly, which put him back down. You see him trying to fight back and get back to the pointy end of Class B there.
Yeah, well, Harris doing a good job as he regains third position there, and Adrian Wood certainly going to bring the fight to him as well. We know that the two of them are quite fasty in their own right, and just look at Wood down the inside. Is he going to do it? No, he's not. Oh, Harris watching his mirrors maybe, braked a little bit late, but well held. Lost the position, but still kept it on the black stuff.
Good job.
On board now with Nick Clark as we watch Darren Nathan closing down on him. Just this is the job of the slipstream, and that just shows you how well that slipstream works down that long back straight. Nathan down the inside. Is he going to get past? Well, we wait and see. There he is on the inside, just nudges through. Oh, and runs Clark wide, just like he did with Adrian Wood as well. Bit of a nasty. Oh, but Nick comes back at him very strong there. Fantastic move by Clark there to regain the class lead, and once again put himself out in front. The battle far from over though. Looks like Adrian Wood bogged down a little bit, and that's allowed Harris to get up alongside him. And into the final lap we go, a little bit further back there. That's
Doc Smith and Marley Stewart.
Yeah, Smith and Stewart having a bit of a bun fight there of their own, and now it looks like Darren Nathan is starting to get away from Adrian Wood and Harris. That's our race leader getting past one of the backmarker Class A cars, Gavin Ross, a stalwart of the series. He's been there for as long as this championship has been around, and our Class B leader now ahead of him, and putting a bit of a buffer between himself and the rest of the Class B pack is Nick Clark. Good drive there as the checkered flag comes out, and Clark taking an easy win at the end ahead of Darren Nathan, with Adrian Wood crossing the line there in third.
Very excited. Darren was quick in the Nathan Motorsport car all weekend, so we didn't think we had much against him to throw at him in the race. But fortunately, we had very good race pace, and I managed to dive it down the inside of him in turn 3. And yeah, then just drove a very clean race after that. They were scuffling behind me, so I got away. But otherwise, a very good race.
And the start for race 1 in Class C heads into turn 1 already, and this large Class C pack very much out to fight for position here. On board with Graham Savage, the man alongside me in the commentary room here, and he is currently in second place. Good start from him. And Graham, tell us about your race.
Well, I'd qualified 4th and got a really good start. Drove it up to second place. I could see Zander was charging hard from the beginning. He didn't give me an inch. See, Lau Ramsey's back in our series. He's come back from Polo Cup, raced Polo Cup last year on the national circuit, and come back to join us in VW Challenge, finding his feet on the new tyres.
Yeah, nice to see Lau Ramsey there, as you say, coming out of nationals and going into Class C on road tyres. Very different kettle of fish to what he's used to, so I think it'll take a race or two for him to find his feet. We know he's a capable driver, and I'm pretty sure he'll be up towards the sharp end of the pack shortly.
Definitely. Stuart Mack there running a bit wide. This is where Zander got me up the back straight. Just didn't have the pace he had, and he took second place. There was the incident with Sam Dale and Duncan Murray. There was a little 2-for-1 deal he got there with the Golfs.
So Sam Dell just clipping Murray, and unfortunately Murray having nowhere to go, running into Stuart Mack. So the 2 Mark 1 Golfs coming a cropper there, but at least able to get up and running again. That's Alka van Vletter, who is in a bit of a fight there with Christian de Wet. Nice to see de Wet back in VW Challenge for the last couple of race meetings as well, and he seems to be finding his feet quite nicely.
He has, yes. He's joined the series. I think it's his 3rd outing now.
Oh, Johnson with a bit of an air brake there, under braking, trying to get some additional brakes into their corner. Stuart Mack making up for a couple of lost positions on Jürgen Pillhofer, who is also a long-time VW racer who's now come back after a few years of being off.
That's it, yeah. Stuart Mack looking to put that Golf in the boot of John Johnson by the look of things. There's Sean Krause had an epic weekend, really drove well. Zander in his brother's car, Luan Rosa's car, that's Zander driving. Also massive weekend he had. Really good driving came out of both these boys.
Yeah, nice to see Sean Krause out in front. He really made the race his own pretty much early on and just went off. As you say, Zander standing in for his brother, but doing a good job in what might be a fairly unfamiliar car for him. But nice to see that he's out there and still having some fun.
Definitely, it was a really good race.
And checkered flag comes out. Right, just confirmation of the results there as Sean Krause takes the win ahead of Zander Roos and Graham Savage holding on for 3rd. Race 2 start for the Class A cars, and epic start there from some of the competitors early on. That looked like Rory Atkinson and Piazza Musso, who went farming, and that certainly didn't help their start of the race at all. But diving down the inside now, and we're on board with Valdi Mankies there as he looks back at Ian Stevenson, and he has got this lead. Nice to see James Hurley back in it after not being able to start the first race, and Hurley's up to 3rd. So Stevenson losing a position there to Hurley. Just look at that, 3-wheeling it through the corner. Stevenson's going to try and come back at him here, and Hurley on a charge and trying to make up for lost time. Oh, and a 3-way fight through the corner there. Stian Creel trying to have a look up the inside as well and join that little bun fight, and just shows you how close the racing is in Class A. Absolutely nothing between them. Tasman Pepper there as well in her repaired car. So literally 5 different cars and drivers fighting for the same piece of tarmac, and all the while Valdi Mankies getting away from them. Just on board now with Tasman as she is hooked up there alongside Ian Stevenson, gets up the inside there. Stian Kriel trying to follow her example, and is just glued to that back bumper of Stevenson. Tasman now hooked up behind James Hurley as well, and dives down his inside. Both of them very good drivers, but the young lady certainly piling on the pressure, just runs James a little bit wide, giving him a little bit of room, but not everything. He comes back at her almost immediately, and a fantastic fight here between the two of them. Tasman diving down the inside again, very smooth, tight line that for her, and she seems to be holding it. You can see her watching her mirrors there. James still on the outside, but it looks like she's just got ahead of him now, and that's exactly what she wanted to do. Now she's got her eyes set on trying to catch Voldy. Hurley, on the other hand, is going to have other ideas, because he's going to try to come back at her almost immediately, and is like a fender trailer to that back bumper of her car, as is Stian Kriel, as he tries to stay with this little front running pack.
Awesome dance they had this weekend of Tasman and James. Really had a good race here. Stian Kriel trying to get past, and Rory Atkinson was in the mix there early on as well. Must have been frustrating with these two trying to get past each other.
Yeah, it certainly is. Unfortunately, that little incident for Rory putting him a little bit further back. Just look at Piazza Musso muscle his way up the inside of Stevenson there. Ian didn't really have much of a choice. There was no gap, and Stevenson trying to come back at him through the next corner, and the two of them are really neck and neck. Absolutely nothing between them.
I'm not going to give it up easily, no.
Lots of dirt being kicked up on the track as well, as they use every part of the track and a little bit more. And this is our race leader with headlights blazing in that late afternoon sun. And Voldy looking set for a second victory here on the day, and making it look fairly easy. Checkered flag comes out. Voldy takes the win in Class A once again. Hurley, a good second there ahead of Rory Atkinson, who came up to finish third.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. I actually did my fastest times I've done here, so I got the lap sorted by now, and it was great. I didn't think that I was going to pull a gap, but I did. It was a great race, but this only happens when you have somebody that prepares you a car that's very good, and Lee Thompson has done a brilliant job on the cars. The car ran perfectly the whole weekend without troubles, and the car was set up 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we were quick the whole weekend. The team worked really hard, and it's unfortunate that this is how it has to end. I qualified pole by quite a margin. First race, drive shaft broke off the line. Second race, I was up to second and catching Voldy in front, and I lost all my gears. So I lost fifth first, and then I lost third and fourth again. So I pulled it back in the pits, came back home. But, huge thanks to the team. The car was great all weekend. It's unlucky to finish like this, but we'll get them at the next one.
Started race 2 for Class B, and charged down into the first corner they go. A lot cleaner for the Class Bs than the Class A race in the start, but look at this bunt fight early on board with Brad Hall once again, and he's getting a little bit squeezed there by Leon Widendahl. Widendahl, an old hand at Polo Cup racing and now in VW Challenge as well, and nice to see some of the veterans out there playing with some of the new boys as well. So great to see what a nice big pack of cars the Class Cs have. Just look at that train filtering through this very tight and technical Redstar Raceway circuit. Absolutely fantastic facility, and a great new venue for the various categories to race on. Brad Hall got his hands full there with Leon ahead of him, and a little bit up the road there we've got the likes of Jürgen Pillhofer and a couple of the other guys who've also come back into the series.
I think that's Funzel up there, Greg.
Ah, you're quite right, Funzel. Yeah, Funzel's there. Obviously, the afternoon light a little bit deceptive on some of the cars. As you can see, this race taking place very late in the afternoon, but making for some beautiful light tones as we see them.
Darren Nathan looking to get back the front of B there, with Adrian Wood in between. Oh, there's Funzel. Small mistake.
Yeah,
ending him up on the ground.
Helped off a little bit there, finding a slightly different line through that corner. And back up with our race leader there, Nick Clark, looking like he's got this race once again. But Adrian Wood not too far behind him. Nathan seems to be battling with a bit of pace this time around, and is going to have to, nice big slide there, and is going to have to work a little bit harder. You see him very late on the brakes here. He seems to have sussed this corner out quite nicely, and dives up the inside of Wood to pick up a position there.
All three drivers, I think, are extremely good drivers. They don't take no prisoners. They really do race close together.
No, they certainly do, and hats off to young Harris as well, because he's come off of 2 wheels into 4, and running in the top 4 of Class B is certainly nothing to sneeze at as well. He's definitely has got very similar pace to these guys, and it's great to see a new talent coming through there with some pretty experienced drivers around him.
He certainly has. He's not as experienced on 4 wheels as you say. He's got a brilliantly turned out car, Lee Thompson Racing, and managing to stick with the front guys there.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of the best driver teachers that one could wish for. Thompson, a legend in his own time, and nice to see that one of his young guns is up there and fighting with the best of them. But Clark still out in front and holds on to the victory, ahead of Darren Nathan, with Adrian Wood holding on to 3rd. Class C start for race 2, and already some action in the background there. 2 cars in the tyres, and this is what happened on board with Graham Savage. Nice start, fast start down the middle, and just gets hooked up there with Zander Roos, and the 2 of them into the tyres, unfortunately. That leaving Kraus to get an early start and a bit of a jump on the rest of the pack as well, as he grabs the lead ahead of Wouter Roos, with the rest of the pack now filtering through. Alka van Vletter having a bit of a spin. Looks like she might have been helped there.
I think she was helped by John Johnson there in that corner. It put her out of the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like some rear suspension damage or wheel damage there. The car not sitting right after that knock. And Stuart Max showing the battle scars of race 1, but he seems to be having a fairly good start there as he runs ahead of Dale in that R-Series Polo.
Yeah, Stu found some pace in race 2. It was good to see. See Lyle Ramsey up there in 4th position, looks like it now.
Yeah, Ramsey seems to have had a really good start for considering that he's only just come back into the series, and I know that the car wasn't quite set up the way they wanted it to. They were still learning, but nice to see that he's got the capability of getting up there and loses a position to Dion Kraus, who's in the ex-Alka van Vletter car, but it looks like he might have overtaken under yellow there, and that pass is not going to count for anything, because as you saw with Lyle Ramsey's indication there, he jumped him down the inside under yellow, and he would get penalised for that. But Ramsey's still staying with him, going to make a fight out of it in any case, and that little battle continues. But back with our race leader now, as he comes off of the back straight. One of the more veteran drivers there is Wouter Roos, busy pedaling that car of his, just out for a lot of fun. And it looks like Christian de Wet hooked up in 3rd position once again, so another good start from him. Oh, bit of a dive here by Dale down the inside, a little bit of late braking. Great job by Lyle Ramsey not to run into the back of him. Ramsey regains the position that he might have lost, but yeah, some very good driving from both of them. On the final lap there, and second place man Wouter Roos now has de Wet closing down on him as well. So de Wet having a really good ratio in 3rd, and certainly having a good drive here in the late afternoon sun.
Really has found his feet on Christian. He's learning how the tyres work and putting the pressure on Wouter there.
He certainly is, hooked up onto the back of Wouter's car, and Wouter no slouch in the seat either, so it's not like Wouter's making it easy for him. I promise you, both of them are working those cars very, very hard. And nice to see Dion Kraus has got some pace. Unfortunately, that overtake under yellow is not going to help him, but checkered flag comes out, and Kraus taking the win there once again ahead of Wouter Roos, with Christian de Wet holding on to 3rd place.
First heat went decently well. Second heat I started 4th and got a good start. Drove up between the 2 Rooses in 2nd and 3rd place. They managed to squeeze me in. We had a bit of a connection of wheels and landed up in the tyres, and from there it was just playing catch up and chase it all the way to the end of the race.
For more information on the Comsol VW Challenge, visit www.vwchallenge.co.za, and don't forget to keep up to date with the Inland Championship via their website, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. This brings a close to round 6 of the championship. We look forward to bringing you more real people, real racing.